Imagine inviting several gamers to play a new virtual reality game, where they later discover that any injury they sustain in the game will be felt in real life too. If they die in the game, they will die in real life. This shocking story begins with a gaming company showcasing their recent experiment, a new virtual reality system. Consequently, this private company invites top gamers to test their game, offering a whopping $1 million prize. The company sends out all the invitation cards to those gamers who were extremely popular. Soon, all these gamers enter the company, where they were supposed to test the new VR. Initially, everyone thought it would be a normal game, but those innocent gamers had no idea that this game would change their lives. Before starting the game, they were given many instructions, such as not revealing their real names or personal details to each other. They must use their game names only. Now, all these players are provided with suits to play the virtual reality game. One by one, all these suits began to integrate into everyone's body because there were many motion sensors in each section of these suits that connected players to the virtual reality game. As everyone watched, all the players had worn their suits, but in the end, only one player named Terrorist survived who wasn't wearing a suit. The terrorist had a gut feeling from the beginning that he shouldn't play this game, and somewhere deep down, it seemed right. At the same time, the terrorist felt that his name was Terrorist, so all the players would attack him first. Therefore, now the terrorist tries to quit the game and starts trying to leave, but surprisingly, all the doors there had closed automatically, meaning no one could get out of these doors. After a while, they realized that after wearing all the players' costumes, this game would start, and only after completing the game would they be able to get out of this entire building. The terrorist also had to wear the costume. As soon as the terrorist wore the costume, everything suddenly started converting into a VR world. The entire room had converted into a deserted apartment. All the surrounding things are taken into the world of virtual reality, but this was just an illusion. Many players take off their helmets to see that there is nothing there, but all this is happening because of the costume, which was a virtual reality world in real life. A player named Reaper is most excited about all these things because he was the best among all the gamers. Many players also try to touch the bottles kept there, but it was just a hologram present in virtual reality. Players could not believe their eyes because they had played many virtual reality games before, but this virtual reality game was different from all the others. Everything seemed so real that they became distinguishable. Military officers noticed that as soon as they looked out the window, there was a battle in progress between all the terrorists and army men, meaning they all knew the game had started. They all came out of their team's captain's office, who was asking everyone to stand in front of them. The captain was very strict and was scolding all the players. They said that we had to complete a very important mission. All the players were surprised to see how this man came here. As soon as they touched the captain, then it was realized that this was a character from the VR world who doesn't exist in reality. Upon taking off the helmet and looking, there was no one there. Now, some players were practicing aiming at bottles placed in their arms with guns, but the captain immediately picked up his gun and shot a player in the vest. The player said he felt the pain of this bullet on his body in reality. Then the captain explained that this is not a normal game. We have to complete it. Otherwise, your life could be in danger. If your health is fully depleted, then you could be killed. The captain informed all the players that there has been a terrorist attack from all sides and we must reach the ground floor alive no matter what. The captain also gave each of them a medical kit so they could regenerate their power. Now all the players started going down to the lower floors of the building. Suddenly, an enemy appeared right in front of them, continuously shooting bullets at everyone. All the players managed to save themselves by quickly hiding in a corner. Just then, a player named Shooter, showing great bravery, shot and killed the enemy with the help of his gun. All the players started considering Shooter as a very skilled gamer, and perhaps his skill was evident by seeing all these things. After seeing everything, all the players became serious and started descending continuously towards the lower levels. As they descended, their level was increasing. On the way, they had to dodge many enemies and electric wires. Another player named Alt was also continuously shooting the incoming enemies. He was also confident that we could win this game. But all these things were just the beginning of the game. Reaper, the player who was most excited, hadn't even killed a single kill so far. Suddenly, in front of Reaper, a dangerous terrorist appeared with a gun and started firing continuously at him. But here, Shooter pushed him away to save Reaper, and the bullets directly hit Shooter's vest. Due to the bullets hitting, Shooter's vest was damaged, and his vest was removed from there. This means if he gets shot now, he could die. But in time, they had killed the terrorist. As they cleared the level one by one, they were also getting different types of guns. Because challenges are going to increase further, they had to be completely prepared. Now, due to all these things, many players were very scared. They didn't feel at all like this was a normal game of virtual reality. Now another player named Cock is shown, who was attacked by an enemy. The enemy not only didn't break Cock's vest, but also hit him with another bullet, causing Cock to be severely injured due to the injury feeling real to him. But before he could die, Shooter immediately comes and applies a med kit to Cock, saving Cock's life by a narrow margin. He couldn't understand at all what had happened to him. Everyone felt that if attacked twice by the enemy, they would be eliminated from the game. All these attacks seemed real to them. All the players gathered and started discussing that surely there's something fishy going on. Many players were saying that this is just a reality show where everything is claimed to be real. But now Alt was blaming Shooter for all these things because he had started killing enemies in the beginning. After a lot of argument, Shooter goes to another room. Many players didn't want to play this game at all, so they were trying to take off their helmets, but what was frightening was that none of their helmets were coming off. This clearly meant that players could only leave from here after finishing the game. Now, within a short time, the message for the next level had started. Many enemies began advancing towards their room. One of them had fired shots at Shooter from behind. Shooter no longer had his vest, so he was immediately hit and killed due to the gunshot. These things happen in reality too. Shooter had truly lost his life. Meanwhile, several terrorists came to attack the other players. Saving their lives, they were running from here to there. But here, Reaper did a brave deed. He immediately took out a grenade and threw it at the enemies, causing a big explosion, and all the enemies were eliminated. A while later, when all the players came out, they realized they had also cleared this level. But after going a little further, they found Shooter's body, from whose mouth some strange foam was coming out. So, Shooter died in the virtual reality game due to getting shot, but inside the reality, there must be some different reason for it. Surely, all these things must be related to their costumes. Because of this, now all the players decide not to continue the game further. But their helmets weren't coming off, so now terrorists and Alec wanted to break their helmets. But then the virtual reality captain had arrived, who kills terrorists a lot. The captain started saying that if you try to give up after this, then I will kill you myself. We have to save our countrymen at any cost and end terrorism. Now all the players have to listen to the captain, otherwise he will kill everyone. Everyone continues towards the next level, level 20. Here, no one is given any guns. Instead, each player is given a knife to eliminate their enemies because there were flammable gases all around this level. If they fired guns there, it could cause a blast. Now, all the players were advancing together like a team. Alt had become the most dangerous player among them all. He could even kill his friends to survive. In this manner, continuously making nets, he would clear his levels. They had completed almost half of the level in no time. But now the levels were going to be much more difficult. They were all feeling very much at the top, so they kept using medical kits continuously. But now players had very few medical kits left. There comes a time when Cock had to save another player, and they only had one medical kit. So, Cock was forced to save that other player and let them die. All the players were determined to complete the level in any way possible, otherwise, they would all be killed. Now, when terrorists come to a level, they suddenly go mad. Using the things kept there, he decided to break the windows continuously. Doing this continuously, cracks appeared on the windows. But then the virtual captain had arrived there, who started killing terrorists continuously. He could not tolerate cheating in the game at all. The captain had even broken one leg of the terrorist while continuously killing him. So now the terrorist couldn't even walk. The terrorist was so severely injured in reality that the rest of the teammates decided to leave him behind and go. Many players were against this, but after thinking a lot, the terrorist himself said that I can burden you all, so go away from here without caring for me. All the players started moving forward in their mission. The terrorist suddenly faints right there and gives up. From here on, the level for all these players was going to be very difficult because before this, they faced quite a few terrorists, but now their entire horde was present. A player named Tyler, very scared, hides in a corner. She hadn't killed anyone yet. The rest of the players quickly advance, killing their enemies and moving forward. Now they all reach a level where their captain is killing the terrorist leader. The captain explains that this leader has planted a very dangerous bomb on the ground floor, which we have to find and disarm at any cost. However, the password for it is with the leader, who is not revealing it. So, the task for all players is to somehow extract this password from the leader. Although players find this level a bit easier compared to the others, everyone focuses on torturing the leader and extracting the password from him. Cock, separately, and everyone else beat him severely and torture him. Finally, the leader utters the password duty, which Reaper quickly enters into the computer system. And suddenly, all the lights had gone out. The players were thinking that maybe the bomb won't explode now. But then they discovered something terrifying. The bomb had already been activated and would blast within 30 minutes. This meant that the leader had given the players the wrong password. The leader starts laughing hysterically. The captain was instructing all the players that they had to complete the remaining levels within 30 minutes. The captain immediately went outside to find another way. A player named Mustang, in extreme anger, comes and kills the leader because now he was of no use. A lag Reaper was getting angry at Reaper because he had entered the wrong password, which caused everything. A lag Reaper starts running to fight with him, but then both of them accidentally get stuck inside the lift, and now this lift was continuously moving towards the ground floor. Although Reaper and Eli had gone to fight each other, now they both realize that they have to move forward together, and finally, the rest of the team was progressing towards the ground floor to defuse the bomb. That's why both of them were also staying on the ground floor. Reaper was using a shield-like protection to save himself so that whatever attack happens, it happens on Reaper. And suddenly, a lot of terrorists started attacking them. Lotta quickly moved to the other side, but Reaper had run out of bullets by now, so he was shot and killed. It was clear that Alt was the reason for his death. On the other side, the rest of the players were quickly completing their levels and moving towards the lower floors. They had taken up a proper position where they were killing the incoming terrorists. But when they reached the second floor, they didn't know that Reaper's death was because of Lotta, and now everyone quickly started moving towards the ground floor. Meanwhile, Taylor entered a room to take medication, but the scary thing was that Alt was also present in that room, who wanted to take medication from Taylor. Alt even stole the medication and killed Taylor. As soon as Alt left the room, Cock arrived. Cock thought he had come just to take medication, but as he got a little further, then Cock found Taylor's dead body, where Taylor had written Alt's name in his dying moments. This made Cock realize that Alt was the one who killed both Taylor and Reaper. Cock immediately went after Lotta, trying to strangle him, but Alt was the strongest and threw Cock down and attacked him with a fire extinguisher. Just then, Captain VR arrived at the scene and saw that Lotta was attacking his own players. So, he started relentlessly punching Alt. Captain was so furious that he ended up killing Lotta. Now, only 3 players remained: Cock, Mustang, and Chief. They quickly reached the ground floor to defuse the bomb. As they reached the spot, many terrorists began attacking them. Unfortunately, in the midst of the attack, both Cock and Mustang got injured. Cock was critically wounded, but he used his medication on Mustang, which healed her completely. However, Cock had succumbed to his injuries. Chief, the last player standing, managed to defuse the bomb just 10 seconds before it detonated. As soon as he pressed the button, everything in the virtual reality became normal again. It means that they completed the entire level, but Chief wasn't more excited about all these things. It was only when reality hit that we came to know that this Chief, whose name is the player, is the owner of all these games and was just testing the players from the beginning in this game. Chief's men quickly made Mang unconscious and shifted him to another place. The rest of the dead players were gathered together, and their data was deleted so that no one could know anything about them. After a while, Chief placed a bag filled with $1 million in front of Mustang. Chief told Mustang to take all this money because she had already won the game, but she had to promise not to tell anyone about these things. Then suddenly, Mustang had already taken a gun from his men and started killing Chief's men by turning off all the lights there because she had recently completed such a difficult level of the game. So she did not miss the target, and now after killing all the people, the Chief was standing in front of the money bag full of money in front of the Chief, and Mang immediately shot him and left the place. Our story also ends in this way.